Hey guys, so in this video I'm just going to be covering the RCON tool, Rustadmin. Um, from my experience, I've tested kind of a couple others and it's by far the best. They do have a free version if you're not already familiar, and it's a desktop client, but they do have the paid version, which is a web version, and it's honestly great, especially if you have moderators and admins. You don't have to give them your RCON password. Permissions are all handled through the web browser, and it's super easy to use, and I'm thoroughly impressed by it. It is paid, like I said. I think it's like $8 or $10 a month, maybe cheaper, maybe more. I'm not too sure. And there is multi-licensing that you can purchase too. So get logged in, make your account, and then once you're in, once you pay for it, you'll have your license up here, and you'll have your list of servers. Connecting your server is pretty easy. You just need to have your IP address, obviously, the RCON port that you're using, which is in the server config file, and then you need your RCON password. And from there, you just get it connected, verified, and it's pretty cool. And then to handle permissions, you click moderators, and you basically tell your moderator to make an account on here, add the name to it, and then you could go through and give them all the permissions they need without giving them the RCON password. And so let's jump in. This server here I'm going to be killing, but let's look through it. The server was originally a test server. Okay, let's see. So when I go to console, I see the users that are currently connected. It'll say player count, joining, queued, some other info like frames and memory, the uptime, and then and you can see the chat. You can see that I can read the team chat. And by the time you see this video, I'm gonna kill this server, so no stream sniping or YouTube sniping, I guess. But yeah, so you can see all the chat. You can see the console. Like if I want to write something, I say, "Hey everyone," and it'll say admin. You can put your name there instead. But it's kind of cool. You kind of you can do this from your phone, really. So you don't gotta be in the on your in the game to see everything, and you can manage it from your couch. Then there's also the console log here, and you kind of see everything that's happening. I can monitor my admins here. There's a lot of stuff that's in here you can kind of follow. Yeah, and then you could also run commands from here. Any variable. If I want to increase the horse population or do anything really. Any besides like certain commands like calling a supply drop, you can't do. But most of them you can do in here. You write the command in, then you write server.write config, and you'll see it verify right here on the console. So it's pretty easy. And there's also an activity one too. I don't really utilize that. I just use the console. There's also a little restart button. And if you want to restart your server, you can put a timer on what it's about to say. That's kind of cool. You could also automate that in one of the command sections I'm going to show you. So the next one is the players. I'm gonna have to blur out the IP addresses, but it's pretty cool here. It shows a lot of information. Steam ID, country. It has their own kind of algorithm for threat percent, and you can go through it here. It's like the threat indicator, and it takes into account like bans and their KDA versus playtime. So it's kind of good to kind of keep an eye on these ones. This guy's a back ban from a year ago. That's pretty soon. So this guy probably am gonna look at. And you could also regulate in the settings. I'll show you in a bit. You could regulate like anybody within a year of a back ban within the last year, auto ban them. And this server is going away, so I don't have that set. So and you can also see your offline list. And there's a bunch of things, the KDA in here. Steam age. If their profile's on private, you can't see it, but you might be able to check it on battle metrics if you're really interested. Ping. If they're on a VPN. Sometimes it says VPN, but they're really not. You gotta check and look into it. And then so to manage really everything is going to be in here, right? So you right click somebody, and you could do a bunch of stuff. You could put notes. Maybe you give the guy a warning. You gave him a warning. You can see their Steam profile, Rustadmin profile. Like this guy has a Rustadmin ban. Let's see what it says. Disrespectful. Oh, whoever wrote this can't even spell, so I'm going to take this with a grain of salt, right? This guy, disrespectful and brutal towards other staff. So I mean, yeah, I mean, if it said hacking and racism, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna be like, hey, this guy doesn't want. I don't want this guy here. But this one, I'm like, sometimes you get weird ones like this. That was a bad example. Let me see if I can find another one. Yeah, it's only one. And also, you can click on the VAC bands, but it just shows the VAC band. You don't get any other more information than that. And like I said, so if you could right-click on them, you can see their Steam ID, network ID, nickname, IP address, kick, ban, timed ban, mute. You want to ban them, put the reason in. And then what else? Mute, kill, teleport. And when you click teleport, and you could put to a position, the coordinates. I don't really use the coordinates. I have trouble with that, but you can teleport to a player. And you click the player. Usually what you do there is you find yourself and you teleport to the player you want to go to. And then also, let's see. So you can see some death statistics, see how many headshots that are landing. KDA, a bunch of other stuff. And you can actually click on it and see what they killed them with. The most thorough piece of this is, you can see the player's team too. Then you could also search their IP, check it out if it's a VPN or whatnot. Let me see real quick. So player's history, and this is the one I use a lot. You can kind of see who they're killing and how often they're killing. If they're a mod, you'll see activity in here like teleporting, creating items. And then, if someone's like, hey, this guy said something racist, come in here, look what he said, look for some racial slur. I've banned a lot of people by coming back through here. But yeah, so let's see. I think that's pretty much it. So let's go to the command section. So the command section is really cool. You can kind of just, I don't really utilize mine to the fullest extent. I have a couple on here, but you could, have scheduled commands like every 20 minutes announcement, and I have an announcement saying the server's closing or removing it. And then you can do period each day once. Weekdays, maybe you have events on the weekdays only, or vice versa. I usually use the period, and that pretty much just does you write the say command, and then everything after the say is what's going to be broadcasted in chat. You'd be like, wipe will be in 2 weeks, say something, doesn't matter. And then it's just a time format, hours, minutes. So if you want it every 48 minutes, you write 48. If you want it every 12 hours, you can write 12:00:00. So it's pretty cool. You could also put in like a server, like you could say it'd be each day, and you could say I think the restart, server.restart or whatever the command is, and you can just have a restart command in here and have it every day at 6 a.m. So let me see what it says here. Yeah, you can have it every day at 6 a.m. I don't do that just because the restart doesn't always come up, but I know a lot of people that do that. And then let's see the triggered commands, and if you're down here, you click the little question mark, you get a nice little list of what you can do. It's pretty thorough. There is some regex stuff you can do, I think, in here. I don't really utilize it, but there's a lot of stuff you can do in here. Like, let's see, like they have a built-in one, right? And yeah, I do the cargo drop and the heli drop, and I just say heli drop has occurred. That's all I write, just so people, they're not looking up at this guy, can look up and go find it. And then also, let's see, you can do like the population one. This is probably the most popular one, So you do an on chat, and then you say online players, and then you take this player count, and it'll take the player count currently on the server, and it'll post it. And I thought I made it red. On my other server, I have it red. There's a command to change the colors, make it stand out a little bit. And then sometimes they'll spam it, everyone just like they think it's Twitch chat. So make sure you put a cooldown on it. I don't know how much of a load it puts on the server. I think it puts a load on the Rustadmin server, the instance that's connected, but I think it should be fine. And then you kind of put the commands, right? So I have a command up here saying to see the population type exclamation pop, and then every time they hit that, then it runs this command here. So it's kind of cool. There's a lot of stuff you can do with this. You know, do a exclamation Discord or exclamation admin or exclamation help. There's a bunch of stuff you can do with it. All right, so let's see. Let's go to server. Let's see. I don't really utilize the FTP, so I'm gonna skip that. But it's pretty straightforward. And then it kind of shows the plugins you got here. The server, I don't have that many plugins, just admin stuff. But you can kind of, you know, instead of running the command, you can just click here and it'll automatically run it for you. You can unload it. It's really easy. Just click, you know, clicking a button is always easier. There is some statistics stuff, which is pretty new. I just saw this before this video. But it's really cool. It kind of shows really your population. And my population has been low, but I was averaging 125. But you kind of go through and see it, you know. There's some frames and population average. Is there a way to do it further back? Let's see. Oh yeah, it's only the last couple days. Oh, here it is, month. Oh yeah, population. I hit around 85. It's kind of cool. What is this one? Let's see down here. Min memory, entities count. Let's do, that's cool. So yeah, so that's that. The plugins, that. It's pretty cool. Then you go to bands, and here's the band list. Pretty straightforward here. You know, griefing other players. That guy's a great name. You know, homophobic slur in chat, you know, and you just ban them. It also, so it bans their Steam ID and it bans their IP address, which is really cool. You know, if they want to go, you know, sometimes people go buy the game again and make a whole new Steam account and they think they're outsmarting you, but it doesn't work. You know, sometimes you get really bad people, you know, like they just had one guy spam the racial N-word 100 times in chat while I was gone, and so I banned him and I shared it, right? So when you share something, you know, like some of these I don't really want to share, like maybe it's a server related rule he broke, but if like the guy who spammed the N-word, I'm like, this guy shouldn't be allowed to play. So you can share it, right? And you can write in whatever here, you can keep it the same or write it in, and every server owner is gonna see this, and you're gonna click on this, and it's gonna say extremely racist, and you're gonna be like, I don't want that guy on my server, and you ban him. So that's kind of cool. And a lot of these kids that are playing and that are doing dumb stuff don't realize that there's a lot of servers out there that are utilizing this Rustadmin.com web and the desktop client, and it'll ban them or make them really noticed on a lot of servers. All right, so next, let's go to settings. Settings is the last piece here. So let me see, hit some here. So, you know, there's just some config stuff in here. Like you could write config after a ban so it sticks. In case, you know, you disconnect RCON or you disconnect from this. Let's see what's utilized. I use here. So here's the death notifications. Every time someone's killed, you can kind of say who killed who. It's kind of cool, you know. Anytime someone writes the word admin, you can have a little
admin.
I don't know if you heard that, but it just was a notification, like a text tone or something you can pick. And you also could Discord webhook it, which I do. I have it to a channel where I've combined a couple reports and whatnot. And then let's see. So you can repress notifications. So you can repress notifications. Like maybe I don't want everybody knowing I'm banning somebody. But you could also link it to a Discord, which I do. That's private. And there's another webhook. And I have, if you don't know how to do webhooks are really easy. It takes like 5 clicks. And I made another a quick video that I haven't uploaded yet on how to do that. But check that out if you don't know. But if you do, like I said, it's easy. And so if someone in game presses F7, they can report somebody. And I hook that to another channel in my Discord. I don't really use that one. And then here's the big one, right? This is like yeah, definitely didn't want to show in the video. I'm gonna blur this out, but it's kind of words, bad language words that are common. You can use regexp, which I don't really utilize. I just use a word list, and you kind of put the words in here, and then you can create a step, right? So if anybody says the N word, create a step. Warnings. Definitely not going to do any warnings. I'm going to do 0, because if you say that, you don't deserve it. You can ban them, you know. You can mute them, you kick them. Usually it's going to be a mute or a kick, you know. So right now I have 0 warnings, mute it. And then I mute them until I come in and see what they said. Because sometimes they might write the word like, you know, Nigeria, you know, they think they're funny. So that is the anti-bad language. I'm going to go to this part over here last. Ping. You know, you don't want someone in here with super high ping. I think it increases the network bandwidth used on the server, kind of the network load. I just have it set to 450 ping, which is like, I don't know how you can play on 450 ping, but there's people that come into my server with like over 1,000 ping from like Spain, you know, and my server's on the West Coast, so I'm like, what are you doing here? But you know, they still want to come check it out, I guess, and maybe they're just hitting some lag on their network, you know, maybe they're having some issues, and so I have a couple checks before it actually kicks them, you know. I don't want them to like have lag and it kicks them. And you could have a warning. I don't have that set up. There's some anti-cheat whitelists, some reg expressions. Let's see what else. Anti-VPN, maybe you don't want any VPNs. Anti-private profile, maybe you're running a server where it's for noobs only, and you don't want anybody with 300 Rust hours or more, you know. So you're gonna turn this on and say you got to make it public so I can see your hours, type of thing. You know, there's a lot of things you can do with that. Family shares you can kick. You know, there's a lot of people play on family shares. Maybe they're testing the game out, or a brother or friend wants to play. And then over here is the really beneficial one I like is I don't have it really set a lot on this server. On my main server, I have it set more thoroughly, but like this one is auto ban players with more than VAC plus game bans, right? -1 means it doesn't ban them at all, right? But if you put 2 in there, if someone has 2 VACs or 2 game bans or 1 VAC, 1 game ban, that means they're going to automatically be rejected from the server. And if you don't know, a game ban means they were hacking. Steam has an agreement with all their developers that if they're giving game bans, it has to be hacking related, you know? So really VAC and game ban are the same thing. So I recommend setting this. Auto ban players with more than 2 VAC bans. I don't have it on 1 because, you know, sometimes people did a VAC ban from 3,000 days ago, years ago on CSGO when they were 13. So I don't want to punish people like that. So I have it set to 2. If you've had 2 VAC bans in your account, you don't deserve to play. Then there's game bans. You know, I have it set to 3. On my other server, I have it set to lower. But you know, the thing people always claim is they got hacked. You know, they got hacked, which is like the most common excuse. Then there's Rustadmin bans, which I have it set to 3 because, you know, like the one we saw earlier is like it could have been a dumb ban. Maybe the admin just didn't like the person, and they're being and they couldn't even spell. You know, like, so I have it set to 3 so I can at least see. But if you have 3, there's probably something up. Usually on my other server I have it set to 2. And let's see. And then auto ban players with less than X days since last ban. On my server, I have it with a year. I'm like, if you VAC ban within a year, I don't want you on my server, you know. But like anything over that, it's fine. Some people do this, you know, even longer. And then Steam, you know, sometimes you might get people making second accounts to come to server, and they somehow get around the IP address ban. So I have this set to 2 days. I mean, just so like if they get banned, they come on. It gives them a day to think about it. Let's see. I think that's it. There's some server whitelist stuff, and then you can mess with all the data in here, but that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys like the video. I know a lot of the stuff in here, there's a good chunk of it you could actually do in the desktop client. But there is a lot of stuff in here you can't. So I highly recommend it. I highly recommend using it. They have a Discord. I mean, the owner will respond to messages, and he writes in it all the time. And like one time the instances that these run on was laggy. Like my web browser was a little laggy, and he rebooted the server real quick for me, and it was like it was real quick. So I like that kind of response and support, and I love this product. This RCON tool is great. Highly recommend it. Anyways, if you guys like to give a video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to come check out my server, I run a noob friendly server. I'm gonna link the information in the description. Come check it out, and hope you guys like the video. Have a good one.